Welcome to Five Dive, the 5-minute deep dive into startup tactics with the experts. Today we have Juan. I'm just going to let you introduce yourself. How about you take the floor?
Hey everybody, I'm Juan Campos. I serve as partner and VP of technology at Manos Accelerator in partnership with Google Launchpad. And so what happened is I graduated my startup, Nomad App, a travel tech startup, from the largest accelerator in the world. It's here in Silicon Valley. And I also help manage one of the largest communities for founders online called BAM. We are about to 17,000 members right now.
Awesome, Juan. Thanks so much for joining us. Today we're talking about growth hacking your startup model. So we'll dive right in. What do you do to set up your revenue model as a startup for good growth hacking?
And what I see is a lot of them are in the business of becoming full in their stomachs off of just hunting flies or eating like mice, and not enough of them are actually going for abundance. They want to make 1 cent out of every transaction or 3 cents out of every transaction, and that's a very rich man's game or it's a very poor man's game. You can't really sell enough until you've raised a ton of funds, or if you want to be broke the rest of your life, then go for it. So it's tough competition for early stage startups. And what I found is the best ones, they are putting whatever their value offer is, whether it's a service or a product, they're putting it on a retaining model, and that's securing a salary for them and for their team. So the easiest way that I can explain it is, instead of selling, I actually have here my favorite nootropic. This is Optimind, not a sponsor, just I love them. This bottle sells for $70 if you just buy it once, but if you buy it every month, then it's $60 a month every month. So there you go. That's a great example of somebody that, instead of now having to sell this for less than $70, the cost of paid acquisition, they can sell it for even more than however much they're going to make on month one. So it can cost them $80 to sell this, because on month 2, they're going to make their money back. And then on month 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, it's just money on autopilot.
What are some of the tools that you recommend to startups to be able to leverage monthly subscription models?
Amazon services, Amazon fulfillment services. If you sell, and this isn't going to work for every startup. If you have a tech startup, then obviously go with Stripe or go with anything that's going to help you invoice every month. But if you have a physical product like this Optimind bottle, you're going to want to partner with somebody like Amazon. These are giant warehouses with people that are professional logistics pros. So that's all they do. They figure out whenever an order comes in, where is that box? Where does it need to get taken? And when do you ship it? Where do you ship it to? Who puts the stamp on it? What kind of box does it go in? Did it get there on time? If it didn't, what's the kind of warranty that we have? Okay, so they specialize in these sort of things. And what that frees you to do as an entrepreneur is, the more you sell, the more money you have to pump back into your startup. Anybody that isn't partnering with a company like Amazon Services that is doing the fulfillment for you, you're going to hit a rough spot the moment you go viral. So the moment that your wildest dreams come true, your company might actually collapse, because now all of a sudden you're the one that has to physically put these pills in their boxes, and it's chaotic. So I'm seeing a lot of people make that mistake, and I'm seeing the people that are doing it right by partnering with a fulfillment company, they get to focus on what matters, because ultimately business is super simple. You just have to make more money than you spend. And the more time you're able to pull yourself away from other activities and just go to money generating activities, the more successful your business is going to be. So I would look no further. They have integrations with Shopify and WordPress and pretty much everybody. If you're at all in e-commerce, where you're selling a product like the Dollar Shave Club or any kind of swag, if you're selling t-shirts, if you're anything that you're selling that's physical, you need to be partnering with a fulfillment company.
What are some of the things that they should be tracking and measuring in order to know what is a money generating activity?
You're going to see what other great entrepreneurs are tracking for exactly the sort of thing. And actually, where all of this ideology comes from is from the SaaS space, from software as a service, where you track what's the cost of acquisition for one user. So how much money am I spending out of pocket to get somebody to pay it? And I'm going to do everything I can to bring it down. But at the end of the day, I have to have a budget for paid acquisition if I'm trying to do something sustainable. So cost of acquisition, your CAC, what is your average revenue per user? So in general, how much money do I get from it? Because that's going to help you identify how much money you can invest in getting a paid customer. Your monthly revenue is really, really important. Your MRR, monthly recurring revenue, how much money you're actually making every single month. That way you can know if your sales are on track. You can have projections, and then you can ask yourself, are we meeting them? And if we aren't, why not? And then the last thing that I would measure is your churn. So what percentage of people are leaving month after month? And you want that number to be as low as possible, ideally negative. So you're adding more people into the mix that are leaving every month. So your churn, your average revenue per user, your monthly recurring revenue, and you're measuring your cost of acquisition. That's going to give you a lot of insight as to how well your business is running. And in all honesty, I think even if you're not doing a recurring revenue model, you need to be measuring these things anyway so that you can make good, smart business decisions.
Awesome. Juan, thanks so much. The folks at Manos are super lucky to have you, and so are we for having you on Five Dive today.
Thanks so much, brother. I so appreciate it.
All right. I'm going to